Previously on Test C Teams.
They're searching for something, and then when they find it, they all just like beam in like
1 point. Planes of purple glass are being sheared off, but they are not able to destroy it entirely. And when it encounters the belly of the ship, it passes clean through. Looking out in this knot of capability for the ship, you think that you see sparkles and twinkles going along these paths.
and pull up alongside.
One of them is like furiously rowing. You don't know how it works, but they are able to shift and move their boat up toward the side
Nice.
of the boat.
Huh.
He says, "Hey,
I know, right? Hey.
you're scaring the fucking fish." And as you leave your ship and a contingent from the vessel comes down a stair that follows the curve of the shell, the two groups meet, and the man you stand before, the admiral of this fleet, says, "It took you long enough, girl."
Time is the enemy, the past, it threatens the fastest weapon. You wouldn't make it past a second, and that's the question. Play it brash and reckless, or choose a cautious solution you thought was prudent. In any sepulchre, pulchritude will become the putrid. It's that wealth that I'm pursuing. No mountain too steep or dungeon too deep to send expendable marks up to the top of the peak or beneath. They see you bleed, they come like sharks to it, while I swim in that money bin like Carl Barks drew it. So send your national parks druid, I'll send them home in a natural box with a closed top and most of the parts included. Save your breath for a cleric confessor. Death is a lesson and life is a tenured professor. But if you're seeking my official advice, sign on the dotted line and initial it twice.
Deep end.
They do look fun.
Hello, I am Tycho Brahe of Penny Arcade and PAX. I am also a Minifus Hereward-drawn CEO of Acquisitions Incorporated, but today I'm your internet friend, Jerford K. Horcrims, and I'm here to play a game of Dungeons and Dragons with my friends. To my right, Dragonborn Narcissist and Narblitz, fan favorite.
Unfortunately, that is true.
Back again. No, it's a robust IP. Yeah. To the right of my right, repping the natural world, walnut, dung, grass, Kakra.
Hey, Kakra. Look at that. That's what I got.
And a Kakra to you as well.
Hey, Kakra to you.
To my left, not your grandma's grandma, except in those rare cases where she is your grandma's grandma, Rosie B. Stinger.
It's bat, though.
Kabat.
Yeah.
Kabat.
It's pretty good. It's pretty good. It's folded up.
Space bat.
Yeah.
Oh, that was fucked up.
Whoa.
To the left of my left, emerging as though from a mist shroud.
Yeah?
Cathris Drow.
Oh, that's a bird.
Oh, man.
Mating with a bat. Oh, no.
It's a plane. Happy Valentine's Day, everybody.
Hidden from the eye of the sun.
No, exactly.
All manner of horrors.
What a treat.
Horrors.
What a treat it is to see these tiny Ligoti. Yeah, stretched out.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Malevolent in their way out there in the chat. What a pleasure.
Take it.
No.
I just got a phone call, too.
No, it was her.
You can't call each other during the game.
I called you?
Kate, what do you think of this game so far?
Oh, God.
I'm putting a stop to this immediately.
I didn't mean to.
Now, everyone should know something delectable
What?
and even perhaps novel has occurred.
What?
Oh, a book?
No. Well, we have that as well, but we'll get to that later. The main thing is that you know that obviously as the Shadow Council, you have various ways to manipulate events. You know how it go. You know how it do. You know who you are. But as I suggested earlier in the week, and even before the break, we're tied in with Idle Champions of the Forgotten Realms.
Woo!
And part of what is neat about that is that the very first cauldron of every show gets filled according to an amount depending on the number of people who have taken Omen's Quest and done my labors during the week. So I'm going to hit the go button
Do it.
on my user interface here, and it is going to fill up in accordance with how many people have done my noble labors. So the more people who engage in these noble labors, in this case was killing a lot of beasts, obviously that's on brand for Walnut, that accrued a certain amount. So I'm going to hit go, and then you look at that bar and tell me if you like what you see. It's going to go on the
We
bottom.
can't see it. Where's
Dum,
this
dum,
bar?
dum,
No, exactly.
What happened?
Just
What happened?
this is a mind bar.
Hey, what happened?
Oh,
For you, it's a mind bar. I'll have Bulin set up over there. I see where it is
Is
because
it like
I don't.
Almond
I don't
Joy?
I don't want you to know because cauldron tips happen at a surprise point.
Oh, that's true.
The most sensitive.
Yeah, exactly. The
part of
most
the-
tender region.
Underside.
So that has filled up to an amount. Thank you so much, Idle Champs. Of course, keep an eye on Nightbot, who is dishing up free gold chests for your use.
And in Idle Champions, you can play the 3 most important, useful members of the C team, right?
Who does that constitute?
They were released in order of importance.
That's probably.
Hey!
This is hateful. This is hateful anti-walnut
They're best.
propaganda.
This is.
Right?
It's still metal. It's still a metal.
But it's true. But it's true. Even so, it's true. The main thing, in addition to sort of preloading the cauldron with goodies, is that you can also sort of thumb the scale and tell me if I should be giving players good stuff or if I should be going bad stuff. Now, this time, everybody put the thumb down hard on good stuff.
Yay!
But listen, I would encourage you to, as I have done, savagely abuse these players because they always rise to the occasion. They always rise to it. It's always going to be cool stuff. No matter which way it goes, it'll be fun. Hopefully you'll like what I've prepared for you this time around.
Give me presents.
Exactly right. Now,
The gifts.
when last we saw our heroes, they had boarded the deck of a massive spacefaring conch shell up above in that sort of fractal whorl. There was a thinning of the shell through which could be seen greenery, crops. This is very clearly the flagship of this spacefaring interstellar halfling hive. And I say hive, the word hive is chosen quite carefully because this is essentially the flotilla. I know, it happens fast.
Wow.
This is the flotilla of the Bee Stinger clan here in space, lashed together as a people to return to what they have called in their own cultural propaganda the Homeward Star, to draw their people home and fight their ancient adversary, the Sangolith. Now, the very last thing that happened was once feet had been set on this broad deck. So imagine that it sort of intersects inside the conch shell. It sort of intersects that opening and extends back even inside and underneath, something like the deck of an aircraft carrier, high utility space. Perfect for events.
Ooh.
Great.
So consider that for your next...
New packs,
I
yeah.
was just going to say, pack space. We should get Dora in here. We can flex on the Explorers
There we
League.
go. Let's get a logo made.
The very last thing is that a wizened
Pronounced
decremented
wizard.
Yeah, exactly. No.
Got a lisp there, bud?
Surprisingly, not a wizard in this case, but indeed an elderly halfling gentleman has shuffled out with his coterie. Has been referred to as the admiral or keeper of this fleet, and he has told you, Rosie Beestinger, that it was about time, girl. Indeed, that is where we left the event.
Okay.
And that is where we begin our tale.
Let's see it.
Arc 2, C Team Season 3. Let's do it. Explore the space.
Okay. Here we go. Rosie, I turn to this. I look at this man who's approaching us, and there's a moment, maybe more.
Josh, if you'd be so kind.
Oh,
You're all prepared.
Yeah.
he knew I was going to be prepared.
In this tender moment, as Rosie extends herself forward and begins to speak tenderly, there is a profound commotion within the documenter's bag.
Oh.
There is imagine that it is occurring, drawn indeed from a stretch and squash cartoon of the classic variety. Imagine that whatever strange force inside this bag is distending it in various ways.
Whoa,
Like in a
excuse me.
cartoon. It's a big lunch. And in a moment, two small feathered orbs eject themselves from underneath the flap and sprawl themselves out, sliding 3, perhaps 4 feet across the waxed deck of this strange vessel. Even here, Ms. Dongrass, you are bedeviled by birds. Truth takes, the sparrow takes an extra moment to comport herself and bring herself up. The 2 wings come forward to make sure that the beak was able to survive transit without overmuch damage. But Vizier immediately begins to squawk and direct the halflings on the deck in various tasks in the manner of an admiral or life coach. And something that you find novel, Walnut, is
Other
that
than just the fucking birds being here?
other than the fact that
Space
in
birds.
this deeply inappropriate time,
Yes.
these birds have seized the moment.
Yes.
You have spoken with them enough times
Yeah?
through the use of the spell
Yes.
that you understand their dialect
This is hell.
without using the
I thought you
spell
said
at
they were
all.
going to give us good stuff.
Hey, listen, I'm giving them good stuff.
This sucks.
I never said you were getting the good stuff.
Walnut looks at them and just says, "This sucks."
Vizier turns to you, and his brows arched, his eyes positively emerging from the sides of the head, and he says, "Really? This place?" He points his wing at a star and then a marble. Where is this?
Yeah. We're in the outer space is where we are. Outside of our world, we are there. Betwixt other worlds. That's where you decided to show up today.
He tips forward, his beak pinging off of the deck. He regains his composure and he says, How many worlds are there, daughter?
And Walnut looks around and she goes, "I don't know, 100?
He
The highest number she can think of?"
his eyes begin to glint and gleam, and then his body goes rigid, and he falls to the left and just lays still for a while on the deck. Thank you, Josh.
Clipped into the deck, just vibrating. Yeah, so Walnut was very engrossed in what you were about to do, And then now imagine when you're having this moment that Walnut's just in the back trying to stomp on a bird.
Are you trying to stomp him?
No.
Just like
She's stomping around him.
He's like rolling out of the way each time. But it's like
just
from,
like tip
the motion of the deck, like swaying, it's just like trying to stomp.
It's like an animate, like a Rubik's Cube. It just moves from face to face.
Yes.
I turn to Walnut. I'm like, I'm trying to have a moment over here. Can you keep a lid on these birds, please?
She grabs Vizier and is just like holding her hand over his head. And she goes, I'm so sorry.
It's just like, it's just this little light of mine.
Yes.
It's just, hold that beak, just tiny beak. Shh.
There's a Stellar's Day that has revealed himself in my new house.
Oh, they
inappropriate.
They do. I was just gonna say. Now you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, they sure do.
They are talkative beasts.
Yeah, he's a handsome boy though. First time I saw him, I was like, I will build you a premium home.
Did you hear
Exactly.
Sorry.
that? No, I'm sorry. You go ahead.
Thanks.
The admiral is just.
Thank you.
The admiral is just turning face to face, like the left eyebrow cocked,
Yeah.
trying to integrate this wealth of new information.
Of all of the attempts to make a facsimile of my father and trick me into giving up power, this is definitely the most convincing that I've ever seen. So well done there, but it's not my first rodeo, so. Nice try. Who's in charge here?
His coterie. His
Nora
coterie
says, "Who's your daddy?" Thank you, Kate. I'm glad we got that out of the way. Who's your daddy?
Those at his left and right, like visibly stiffen in their posture.
Yeah,
Like
I'm on to you.
at this challenge.
Yeah, be nervous. I've seen this a million times before, so, well, 6 times.
Josh, if you'd be so kind.
Oh my gosh.
Now you enjoy that tasty treat.
Vizier wakes up.
From the back.
All the
More
bird-related
Yeah.
tilts you can handle.
Yeah, how much bird do you want?
Yeah.
I got pounds and pounds of these birds.
Your dad's a bird.
Yeah, just,
I look at him, I say, "Hey, what's going on with this bird?"
Nope.
so they visibly stiffen, and he, if anything, relaxes and smiles, and it's not unnerving. It's familiar. So the last time you remember seeing this smile, you were looking up at it. And he takes a couple steps towards you and says, "I expected something like this. I wouldn't have it any other way." He says, "We can meet now as equals, if you like." He extends his hand.
Can I do an insight check?
Yeah, of course.
Okay. Rosie doesn't believe this is happening. There's no reason. Do
Technically, it's not.
Well,
you mean because it's Dungeons and Dragons? How dare you? I got an 11.
That's fucked up.
You're not. You're basically extending your awareness, trying to test the edges of this facade, and you don't find a seam in it.
Okay.
You don't. It doesn't seem like a ruse. He's not mocking it up. He's not putting it up. It's not a simulation of some kind. This hand is extended, and he says, "We can remain father and daughter, or we can be equals, and I will accept either."
Okay. Rosie stares at the hand that's been proffered, and she says,
This is a hand that has performed a life's long labor.
right. She says quiet enough that only he can hear. She says, "You are dead. You're dead. I verified it."
He feels around and he says, "That's a surprise to me."
I spent decades looking for you. I spent decades looking for you. Do you know what I've done trying to find you? Do you know the people that I have compromised? You're dead.
He says, the things that you've done, and he raises his voice to match your tone. Mm-hmm. So now it's just two opposing walls being erected. It's entirely possible that this has happened before. He says, you became the person you are now, the person we need, because I gave you the opportunity to become it.
I'm sorry. That seems a little reductive. You think that because of your absence, because of your lack of action, I became that, like, my agency hinges on you? And she's got, like, angry teenager all over her right now, because that's probably the last time she saw him.
Yeah, exactly, right?
They're picking up right where they left off.
Yeah, it's just like it's been paused.
Yeah.
But it's like the old school, like a VHS pause button. It isn't like the pause button we have now, where it's like you push it and then it stops. We're not stopping a stream. This is something you need to push down with your entire thumb.
And it comes all the way back up.
And then you
and
hear it. It goes pong.
Yeah. And right before, she can't stop herself. She's like, you can't tell me what to do. It's like, as it's coming out, she's like, ah, shit.
How old does he look? Like, Rosie is visibly old. Does he look older than her?
You don't have any experience with a halfling near the end of life. It's just growing up in Jannar, it wouldn't have been a common thing. You could lose a quarter in some of these wrinkles.
Okay.
And he did.
Yeah.
I did.
You have to find it. Thank you very much, Josh. He says, Rosie, when you were strong enough, I left. I am a father to many now. And he extends a hand out to the rest of this bobbing hive in space. And he says, I give you the choice.
I don't know what to tell you. Because I didn't think I'd ever tell you anything again. I had nothing prepared for this moment. Usually there's something, but there's nothing right now.
He says, very well. In a month's time, you're going to need all this. And he turns on his heel and begins to recede deep back into the ship.
Right before I lose sight of him, I say, I don't even know if he can hear me, but I say, where's Mama?
He stops, and it takes his little flock a couple seconds to adjust to that abrupt gravity, and he, over his left shoulder, he says, she went on ahead of us, child.
Humph! All this is a thick layer of anger.
Yeah, the wall's built. Now you gotta carry it around.
When I see him leave and you're by yourself and you're just bristling,
With the hedgehog.
I walk over to you. I'm still holding the bird, so it's just looks ridiculous. And I reach out to comfort you like this.
Yeah.
But you don't have hands.
Oh, yeah.
Reach way down.
Reach way down. But I say, finding your father after a time is very confusing.
Yeah. Yeah, I'll say.
Yeah.
And I look up at you, and maybe for the first time, that's still obviously old lady wrinkles and age spots and all that gloriousness, but my eyes look like a little kid.
You're small.
I just like they're they're looking at you like you have answers. And I say it
It
is.
shines in those moments.
Yeah.
I was born to do it.
I don't know if it matters, but it feels like it does.
It only matters as much as we let it.
You're stronger than I am sometimes. Rosie reaches up and squeezes the hand that's got the bird. Just a little too tight.
Walnut just does one of these. Just like leans her head way, way, way down.
Between the fingers, there's just a tiny black beak. It's slightly open.
Yeah, and it chirps, and I go, I told you to shut up, and then she just walks off.
You're not part of this.
Yeah, and I kind of shake myself. And I look around. Do I see a bunch of what look like Beestinger halflings? Just all over this ship?
Absolutely. And they're engaged in classic nautical activities. So this vessel doesn't have anything like a
Shuffleboard.
Yeah, exactly. It doesn't have anything like a
Mopping.
sail.
Right.
But it does have
A Lido deck.
it does have a massive big deck energy.
Ooh.
And this ship, I mean, compared to like, there was some rough and tumble behavior out in the fishing portion of this vessel. This ship appears to be operated in a very particular way.
Particular how so?
In that the level of rigor in behavior seems to be quite high.
Okay. And the dad individual.
He has vanished like back up this deck, and then as I suggested previously, although it was weeks ago, there is a stair that rises up basically inside the shell that's accessible from the deck proper back here, and on as I suggested before, on this flat area, I mean, this is the most utilizable space, like the most practical space possibly in this fleet. And this deck, just to give you a sense of its scale, has 2 or 3 smaller vessels on it in the process of repair.
Oh, okay.
Wow.
And you don't have to worry about like if they have first names or anything like that, because I've hacked this.
The ships?
Yeah, I'm just saying that anybody you meet, they got a first name, and then everybody's last name is Beestinger. So,
Okay. Now, I have a question about the construction of the ship. It's a large ship. Is it large for halflings? Or is this like a large ship that's just got a bunch of little halflings on it?
no. So it is.
Am I uncomfortable?
No. It is authentically big, but anything that you would grab or use or sit at is nonsense.
Okay.
This is a dollhouse.
But it's the same for pretty much everybody, I think.
Exactly.
Like, you're huge, but we're
Thank you.
what? I mean, we are.
Yeah, but it's like tall but wiry.
Yeah, we can make it work.
Yeah.
You got that ropey strength.
It's still small. Yeah.
There's a lot of, it's more of a bus. He's more of a copper bus.
Thanks, guys.
You're welcome.
Wasn't a compliment.
Thank you.
All right.
So I look at Rosie and I go, what are we going to do? Are they all going to the Sangolith?
They are. They don't maybe know as much about the Sangolith as we do, but they're heading the same direction.
Oh, yeah, was that all in halfling? We didn't get any of that, other than the tone.
Yeah, wasn't it happening?
Yeah. Let's say that it is, so that all you can hear is just these hard consonants.
Just
It's like listening to Welsh people.
two little angry
Yeah.
old halflings just yelling at each other.
Yeah. It's like at the same time you get it. You actually still know
Okay.
what's being said.
Big dad energy?
Yeah.
Okay.
So then I said, where are they going? Maybe you said the same.
Yeah, that works.
Are we going to let... I mean, I know halflings are very capable, but like, these are...
I want to
Are
trade.
they all warriors?
Definitely 100% no. Definitely not. These are not. There might be some other halflings that are. Bee stingers are capable fishermen and sailors and apparently spacefarers, but usually not so big on the warrior part.
Because we do have 105 people on our vessel.
Yes, who are primed and ready.
I guess the more the merrier.
Yeah. I think that if it comes to more of that space combat that we encountered before, the spears, then having able-bodied sailors aboard these ships will be useful to us.
But you do wonder if you start to follow down that conceptual path, and
Yes.
you think about what happened, for example, at Nemazir,
That is what she's thinking about.
Oh.
right? And that wasn't even you weren't even contending directly with the Sanglith at that time. You think about the time that you spent inside the cathedral of its divine prison, and then you try to imagine what kind of zeal this family is under, this extended family, that they think they can manage the sorts of things that you've seen there.
Yeah,
It's not hard. It isn't hard to summon an image, mental image of this fleet just being ground into a powder,
Scuttled beyond recognition.
space scuttled.
Yeah, so Walnut's just concerned about these halflings. And I say, do we know why they want to go?
When you think back to the book,
Yeah.
it goes into, obviously, we've discussed the Velvet Cloak before, but it describes it as something like a inevitability.
My dad.
Okay.
Take this.
Chris's dad, it's not time. I know that you got suggestions, like for what to
got
do
a
next.
Push him back in the knife.
No, thank you.
Come on.
Do not want Chris's dad.
Send it to voice knife.
But it's not hard to, it isn't hard to get the sense that there is something cosmic and sort of ecclesiastical, borderline religious about the fact that it's a moral good, a moral right will cloak them in some kind of protection, that it's theirs, they're returning to set it right. And if they believe it hard enough, that they'll be able to make it, that they'll be able to make do. But you've had a sense of what this thing, like the profound, deeply amoral nature of of what he called the adversary. And it doesn't follow those kinds of rules.
Right. So, based on what I've read and what we've seen in the Sanglith, do I think that these halflings are being foolish?
You don't know enough about this fleet. I mean, you don't know if they have something that constitutes a secret weapon against it. You don't know what survival rate would constitute success in their mind.
Yeah, once they get there, what are they going to do? Like,
Choke their rivers with our dead.
yeah. Throw a
Really?
bunch of fish at it.
So these are all bee stingers.
Yeah, I think so.
Have you always known that you were from
No,
Space.
space?
I confess about the book. I'll tell Walnut, and I guess Dinar, are you in this cluster as well?
Yeah.
Okay.
In more detail,
Yeah, I unravel the book and
it's something like a space Bible.
yeah.
Looks like one.
Space.
Like the deeper you read into it, it's like, okay, well, this is either written to be approachable and literary, or it constitutes the formation of a death cult, and we should be worried.
Sure. And I lean on Cthulhu
When you're not strong.
when I'm not strong. He'll be my friend. But he'll to like fill in the gaps of the stuff that I'm missing as I go into, because you and I shared that scene where we figured out what this book was all about. You helped me puzzle it out. So yeah, I tell you guys, I've known about this part, but I didn't think it was real. I mean, if you read this book, it reads like some kind of trashy novel, scroll novel. What do we have here on Forgotten Realms?
Trashy romance scroll.
Yeah, it's
Some grade A smut.
it,
The velvet cloak.
Yeah.
Sounds right.
They just
Sounds
spread it
about
out.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
guys.
Fabio on the cover.
Very short.
Yeah, just a really
Very
small
small.
Fabio. Just
Like
like,
Fabio.
I did like him, but the rest of it was questionable.
Challenging.
He's not even a character in it.
that's a fucked up thing.
I'm just trying to contend with the fact that you're not of our world.
Yeah, this is kind of why I didn't want to tell you. I didn't know how you'd react.
So the inner thoughts that's reeling is Walnut's contending with, her whole world is the natural world,
Yeah,
is the
yeah.
world. And so now someone that she's close to is not part of that ecosystem. And how
My life is forfeit.
your life is forfeit.
Outcomes the blade.
The enemy.
Yeah.
No, but it's like a Cathris-like fascination where it's like you're part of some other world.
Yeah.
You're from some other place.
What is the borders like? What is the border of nature?
Yeah, I was just about to say that to Walnut. I'd be like, this seems pretty natural too.
Not in a way that I'm familiar with.
Well, that makes you feel best.
Do you remember your childhood? Do you remember?
I remember boats. I remember fishing. I remember the sea. I don't remember this. There's one memory. It was a hallucination. It wasn't a memory. It was gazing out into a star field where a ship waited, and I just thought it was those mushrooms that we took.
Do you have any memories of, as you're remembering boats and fishing, were you ever fishing in the daytime? Or was it just a sort of a black field, which could be the sea at night, or could maybe just be this here?
Yeah, I can't recall any daytime ever, but
Circumstantial.
Yeah.
That's not necessarily.
I see the connection you're making. But I remember the town I grew up in.
As long as you don't look below the boat.
Yeah.
You remember the town you grew up in?
Yeah, I remember it. I remember a village. I remember a lake.
Did it look like a big shell boat? This village? Was it inside of sort of a nautilus?
Yeah, we're all trying to be very supportive.
Well, also just accepting that maybe she doesn't know.
Yeah.
It's like it's not you weren't lying to us. You just forgot. I understand that.
But I didn't. It's memories that aren't real, or they're doctored in some way. Maybe I generated them myself to make sense of it, but they're real.
Unfortunately, memories doctor memory.
That's true.
It's the substrate that they're retained on.
Yeah.
I completely understand. No problem.
Thank you.
Now what? And so, because there's still like two things. Remember from towards the end of our prior adventure, a belief that Rosie had more knowledge than she was letting on. Like, oh, it was clever. Oh, how wonderful! You knew all along.
Sure.
But also the being able to communicate directly with the because the Sanguilus has stopped giving him power, right?
Right.
So Cathris would look to you like there's a little bit too much like a scheming, like an excitement.
Uh-oh.
What In what way do your compatriots honor the
I'm not aware of.
They are its soldiers. They are here more like myself, and their methods may differ from mine. But this is an army. Why did you never confide that in me?
Cathris, you've made some leaps and some connections, as usual, that I have not.
Yes.
Never will.
Thank you.
But I swear to you, no matter what else is true, I have not hidden anything from you.
Well, they will need to be trained. They will need to be taught of its ways. And then it will not matter that they do not have sword or staff or ability. They merely need to fix the symbol of the in their mind and march blindly into that great mouth.
Walnut is just looking at you like, oh my God, he's lost it.
Yeah, I'm imagining all of my actual biological family members becoming little Cathrises, and it's not a good look. And I'm like, maybe not though. Maybe it's not the There's a lot of other gods imprisoned up there.
Yes.
Maybe as soldiers of one of the other ones.
Well, sure, but let's see what good that would do. But if what they do on their own time, that's no matter to me. Yeah, all they need is that, because I know full well that the sign of the offered me some protection from the Sangolith when I was there. What would it look like for all of the crew persons of these ships to carry that protection into there?
Now that is interesting, though. I don't know if I want you proselytizing to my family, but distributing symbols for protection, that seems wise enough.
On perhaps a pamphlet that I could leave at their door.
This
Just put it on their hotel keys.
look at. I want everyone to take a look at this wrinkled ass brow.
Walnut goes, hang on a second. So you want to protect all the bee stingers, but you didn't care about protecting all the daughters in the belly of the ship.
Oh,
got you there.
I fully believe that they are here on a mission from the goddesses, and I understand that they too would benefit from the symbol of protection.
Dude, this is like a supplement. You're like it's like mangosteen or something. Like you're coming in. You're like it's got incredible healing
Right.
properties.
Oh, this is
And you
exactly.
get 5 of your friends on board.
Walnut doesn't even want, she doesn't want her warriors or herself to have this symbol. She's just insulted that you didn't offer. She's like, okay, yeah, sure.
You need to get.
You give them the symbol. It's
Oh,
fine.
but the welcomes actually the welcomes nobody. It doesn't care.
You need to get the daughters of Maleth in your down line.
That's right. You have these funnels. I have to come up with a way to make it fun. I understand.
MLM, multi-level meat and mouths? No.
MLM&M.
No. It's Myalike level marketing.
Perfect. Yeah.
Yeah, there's something there.
Bye, guys. I'm going to do that now for the rest of the
Mr. Blitzen, could you please give me a
Don't say perception now. 11.
Okay. Cool.
That's a number.
Yeah,
and it
sure is.
exists.
I love that. I like how there's 2 1s on there.
I say, where do who's go? Where's who's?
Where's that rude waiter? Who yelled at you?
He took our. He didn't even take our order.
No.
I push away from the table.
He's coming back with waters for everybody. How long did they say this trip would take? Was it a month?
A month.
Okay.
By their calculations, but that was based on a very different understanding about how this travel would go. As we learned in the final episode of the first arc, coriander exists in this place in such a way that there's a kind of wake generated behind
Right.
her that allows simple, easy travel. People who should know better, the Arcane or Mercane as they are sometimes called, although they had at least 5 other names that they call themselves. No one knows more about this strange medium of travel than them, and they could not keep up with Coriander.
Okay. Well, in that case, I guess I break this down with you guys. This trip to the Singolith, to the Homeward Star, is supposed to take a month, but I think Coriander might be able to make it faster. I'm not 100% sure how, but I don't want to wait that long. I don't think we can. For our lives to be over.
Okay.
I want to know right now.
What will it be?
You're right. That waiter looked pretty bad.
No,
We need to get there.
He's not going to last.
We can't wait.
Pacey.
He's not a waiter. He says he's my dad.
There's no dishonor in the food service industry.
Congratulations, yeah.
There's nothing about him that looks like a waiter.
I've been to very few restaurants.
That's a fact.
That it was what I thought was the case.
We're sitting at a table. None of you are sitting at a table but me.
No. And your knees,
Yeah.
from the stool, your knees are higher than the surface of the table.
Yeah.
It's like the kids' table.
You have a bib.
Yeah.
that's yours. You brought them. Nobody brought these for you.
I manifested a single potato. I'm eating it.
Raw.
Raw.
Yeah. I'm like, disgusting.
Like an apple.
Like, if he wasn't a waiter,
Come to terror.
why am I sitting at a table eating a potato? Eh? Gross.
I hate it.
Ew.
Rosie,
Walnut.
I agree. We can't wait.
See, he's a waiter. She's on board.
We need to tell the admiral, the captain,
Admiral.
we need to have them follow behind us. And assuming they're ready, and I look at them, and again, I just see seafaring folk, and I go, these great bee stinger warriors, assuming they're ready, we should just continue. We should go. We should do this as soon as possible.
Okay.
There may be much to learn from them. Because where you see them, fishing, that's not impressive. What are they going to do?
Yeah.
I'm looking for the
Secret
code.
signs.
Yeah,
Yeah, like
sure.
The Da
Okay.
Vinci Code.
incredible skill. That's like, whoa, why did he drop that fish? Is it because he's bad at this? Or there might be something here.
The fish wasn't enough of a challenge for him.
They know what they're going after, right?
Well, that's what I want. I would love, in a serious way. What did they plan to do? I do want to know that.
I don't know if we know what they plan to do, but we do know they're going the same direction we are.
If you're hunting, if you're going after a whale, you bring things to catch the whale, right? So if they know they're going after a big bad monster, they must have. We shouldn't judge this book by its cover. Like they've got to have something. There's a big ass harpoon under this deck or something.
Yeah.
Okay, well, the Admiral will know the answer to that question, and I think it would be important for us all to go, and that's only because Rosie secretly doesn't want to be alone with him right now. She's still feeling weird about all
Yeah.
that.
Hasn't brought out the bread. I got a couple choice words. Let's get him.
Not a waiter.
We're gonna beat him up. What are we doing?
I'm under a vent. I'm cold. Okay? That's not great.
Eating all the fully loaded nachos.
Did you say something?
All right, let's go see the admiral.
Okay, and so I draw myself up to my
You're full
2 feet and 11
Rosie.
inches, yeah. And I march up those stairs where he disappeared with his retinue.
So there are no less than 3 separate junctures where you think that people would stop you, but in each case, one of the guard pair gives the other a look and nods you through.
VIP.
Yeah, exactly. Velvet rope. So you find your way up that sort of circular stair that hugs closely the sort of natural nautilus shape of the vessel. And then it branches off at various times, but at the very top, something like an observation deck, sort of at the tip. Imagine like in the classic shell variety, it's almost like the eye of a snail or something. One of these projections off of the shell, sort of like reaching out and back, like swept and drawn back. It has its own smaller stair within it, and it is raw. This may be an old design. It is raw excruciation for non-halflings to try to ascend this thing. It's like being digested by a snake.
God.
Being digested by a snake. All right.
Happy Valentine's Day. Is it soft like that? Or
Oh,
okay.
no, it's rigid.
Nice.
Happy
Turgid.
Valentine's Day.
I'm fine. I'm loving it. It's just the right
No,
size.
it's good times. Everybody else has to become another shape.
But
It's like
go
those
last,
Japanese
so
game
it's
shows where it's like the
Hole in the wall.
the panels come and it's just like it would take maybe 4 times as long for anyone else to get up it.
Should we go?
I get halfway up and I have a claustrophobic.
You have a big
attack.
panic attack.
Yes. Can I see outside to the space?
No, about every 15 feet, and it's a long corridor. Have
Yeah.
you ever done that tour, that Boston tour, where you have to go up in that fucking thing?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
what?
I lost it.
Okay.
I couldn't do it. I freaked out.
This is like me and the Space Needle is what's happening.
Yeah.
Okay,
Except
so
it's like
we'll
this,
not
and so you're traveling through this thing's gullet, and then every 15 feet or so, there's like a tiny little circular window that you've tried to make your universe.
You get agoraphobia looking out the window.
Yeah.
Claustrophobic.
I'm just
Walking
marching up the
past
stairs
it.
in front of you guys. I'm like, I'm so glad you guys are with me.
I turn around. I start banging on Dinar. I'm like, we gotta go back.
Dinar is second, so it's like you two, even if you wanted to get past, it's just a nightmare. It's just like splintering wood. Just start smiting walls just to make it wider.
He's gonna carve it out a little bit.
Oh yeah, there's like just giant, like wrecked claw marks, like as he's like trying to like pull himself through like a tunnel that's too small.
It's like when snakes flatten their ribs,
Yeah.
get under stuff.
Totally.
Don't like
So
it.
we get up, but you're waiting there for like 15 minutes.
And this passage is ruined.
That's fine.
It's fucked.
Yeah. Feel me? Ruined. Ruined.
Rump.
The whole time I'm up there, I'm like, I will have something to say to you very soon.
And there's just a loud, just crunching destruction.
Just screech. It's just like the sword like dragged up.
just, but it's more like he has to like grab and then pull himself. And then Walnut just like, get out of the way, you idiot! And it's just, and you hear him like, this isn't that bad. And it's just like, just loud clamor.
The command crew has now just been watching your silhouette in the doorway for 10 solid minutes. I'm assuming you haven't really said much yet.
Nope. Just standing there.
It takes a long time.
When I finally get up, I'm out of breath. I'm rattled. I have the bird stuffed in the bag. And I just go, okay, well, I live up here now. I can't do that again. This is it. You know what? I will fight the Sanguith from here. And here I shall make my stand.
The war room
The war room,
where
yes.
we will plan.
We're just covered in splinters and
Yeah.
Oh, wait, were we here to talk to someone or?
Now that I have my consultants with me, advisors,
Yeah.
Oh,
I'm,
puff up.
yeah,
Still out of breath.
I am,
The ceiling is just a couple inches taller than your heads.
Yeah.
Obviously, you're great.
I'm great. I'm comfortable.
It's like a submarine for halflings.
ooh, like a sandwich.
I'm comfortable with
Fresh.
letting you know. God damn it! I
Fourth
can't.
meal.
It's,
No, do it.
I can't get a sentence.
I'm so sorry. it's a big stuff for you. Let's do this. Let's
Yeah,
do it
it's
for real.
big stuff. Let's do it.
I'm sorry.
I'm comfortable letting you know that we have a vessel that I feel may make our travel go quite a lot faster. I am a level 2 cartographer in Acquisitions Incorporated, and she says it like she's she's just won like a science fair prize. Like she's just like
So imagine. So there's that part. There's that part of.
I've never done anything wrong ever. I know this.
Yeah.
money, please.
So there is. Imagine the part inside of a pinball machine. The bumpers, where the ball falls, and then for as long as it's going to do this, it just sort of bangs against these structures in there. And the idea of whatever an Acquisitions Incorporated is bounces essentially from face to face inside the command deck of this, where it goes over here. This person doesn't quite know what to do with that information. And they look to someone else who they think may be better equipped, but they also do not know. It goes around. There's 14 separate people in this area. It goes around, and once it reaches the 13th person, instead of a pained shrug or questioning gaze, that person gives a shrug and a solid nod. And that seems to satisfy the rest of them.
See, even here we are known.
It's, don't worry, it's a little above your pay grade to understand that. But it is something that equips me with the ability to travel in ways that are routinely unexpected. And I think that we could get to the Sangulis and defeat it. I hope that's what you guys are going to do. That's what we're going to do.
He says, what's your plan for defeating it?
Well,
I honestly can't wait, and I'm not being facetious when I say that.
Okay. Admiral, my associate here, Walnut Dungrass, level 3 documancer from Acquisitions Incorporated. It's very impressive. It's more impressive than the level 2.
Thank you for saying that.
But she... Walnut will remember this.
that one halfling who was like, okay, this is like,
Sonar just goes, I'm also level 3 in my thing.
That is true as
Just
well.
like leans down
Yeah.
like a monster.
And still waiting on the breadsticks. And then just recedes.
And it's a halfling vessel, so Rosie turns to the breadstick guy, because there's definitely a guy with bread in here. I'm like, could you give him some bread, please?
He's like,
The breadstick guy.
he's like, okay. He like flips open his little satchel and gets out a little wrapped loaf.
Thank you. Yes, perfect.
It's like a toothpick to him.
Yeah.
Yeah, he walks over. It's like a breadstick. It's a loaf of bread, but to you, it
It's a
resembles a
breadstick.
breadstick in every important way. And he sort of hands it to you, like haltingly.
yeah, we're talking.
Yeah, now we're 10 now. Finally, a little respect.
Now you might get a tip.
I was gonna say, now you're up to 2 stars. You know?
Phone's out.
Yeah. Phones out. I got a check mark.
Yeah,
I'm
exactly.
a reviewer.
Yeah.
Don't mess with me.
Guide. You're a local guide.
What we're planning to do, my compatriot Walnut Dungrass
Yes.
has quite an army of warriors, a lot like herself. In addition, we have Eldritch Mystery encompassed in my friend Cathris Drow.
No, it's Mr. Eldritch Mystery 2019.
Yes, Mr. Eldritch Mystery.
Fash.
And he holds powers unbeknownst even to me
to
at my
himself.
advanced age, or to himself, frankly. But his patron is trapped in the
Has
same
infiltrated.
beast, has infiltrated the beast that now consumes the Homeward Star. So he runs on a
So
fuel of
this once you start moving into their area of fascination, once you start dropping Sanguilith, Homeward Star, it's pretty quiet in here.
Okay. He runs on a fuel of vengeance for his patron god. And my big friend here, Dinar Blitzen, Red Enthusiast and level 3 to
But like that beaky mouth.
Yeah, just
Yeah. Is sort of the muscle of the operation, I'd say. Also, arguably has a god trapped within him. Pretty much everybody but me here does.
Also, I can be a bear, if that helps.
Oh, nice. Yeah, well, that makes 2 of us, so... I think
Bear with
arguably it
swords, I mean.
makes 4 of us. We all got cured, though.
Summer bear.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's tamped down.
I could be bear if I want. Who said I couldn't?
Watch me.
But I do
Sorry,
explain
sword bear.
like
Yeah.
the last 2 seasons of the C Team to the Admiral as short as I can to let him know where we're at.
He says, that all sounds pretty good.
I know.
He says, when we meet with the Tome Nooks, our arsenal should increase substantially.
Rosie scoffs. She says, ugh, Tome Nooks, you mean those clergy, comma, scholars?
Those clergy comma scholars?
Oh, you mean those noun?
Berbers?
Yeah.
Noun, verb.
That it's the point is taken. I mean, he says there's a time and a place for what they do, and I think we've arrived at it.
I bet you'd get along with them.
Those are the ones I will weaponize.
Yeah, you can have them.
This is merely the delivery system.
Yeah, the vector.
Yeah.
And I tell the Admiral, too, about Coriander and about what I can see with my eye patch.
Okay, he says, are you sure you trust anything you see through that?
Well, now.
Why would I?
And
He says, what are you looking through it to see?
what you're always questioning the things that I do, like the things that I do for myself. I learned this ability. Why do you have to question it? It's me. It's mine. No, I don't trust it. I don't know what I see. But
He says, what has it shown you so far?
The roads.
yeah, there are almost shortcuts, folds in space that we can traverse if we know how.
He says, where have you traveled using this currently?
Here.
Another idea begins to ping around the room. And he says, why would the adversary bring you to me?
That is a great question.
Why wouldn't it?
I just assumed you were in the way on our road to the adversary.
It was just the shortest line.
Yeah.
That's all.
He stands up out of his chair and he says, I love you, daughter. Would you please return to your ship?
Okay. What? Why?
He says, there are things we need to discover. Why would it help you? Why would it show you how to get here? Why would it have my best interests at heart?
I think I get very sheepish. Like the cheeks turn pink because it's like, oh no, Dad disapproves. Well, the crystal came from my friend Cthulhu, and I used it, and I don't think that the Sangolith knows that this is the purpose that I'm using it for. I think that I hope that it was just a happy accident.
He turns his face to you, Cthulhu, and he wants to know what you think about that. I am now going to roll an insight check from Admiral Erebus Beestinger.
Okay. How does that work?
Airbus?
You'll see.
Yeah, because he's a pilot.
Oh, I got it.
Erebus, you beasts. This is my novel.
You start next show. You start using a different name.
He has rolled a 22.
Okay.
What I want you to tell me is what Cthulhu thinks, his gut level instinct about the revelation that the tool you used to get here was in fact part and parcel of the adversary.
I see.
He is looking to your face for information.
I don't even think you would have to have that high insight. I think that the Sangolith does not care what arrives into its mouth or when. It is going to consume everything. That is its goal. What we want to do is give it something that it will be destroyed by to eat. It's going to eat everything. It wants to be all of creation. It wants to have consumed all of creation.
Does that mean that it would know that eventually something it ate would destroy it?
It would hope that that is not the case, and it would try not to do that, but I don't think that the Sangolith is clairvoyant. All it knows is that it is going to continue to eat until there are no more things to eat. I don't know what it would do after that, but that's not my problem. I don't want it to get there. But as far as the paths, Cthulhu has no reason to think that it is it's a machination of the Sangolith, and even if it was, fine. Bring us in. That's exactly where I want to be. You know, as long as the plan is there's a plan in place, then yeah, let's go. We go today, if we know what we're doing.
He has derived something of a psychic anchor from the confidence that he is able to derive from you. And he says, Rosie, please return to your ship, but please take a position at the front of the fleet and show me what this horse of yours can do.
Okay. Got it, Papa. Admiral.
Admiral Papa.
It's like his hands, like at the Papa, his hands like loosen briefly on the arms of the chair, and then they resume their enthusiasm.
Okay.
It's a great show.
Back down this hallway.
Oh no! I told you I live up here now.
Everyone but Walnut.
It's wider now.
So, Walnut, if I could please have an acrobatics check.
You would want that, wouldn't you?
I would.
And I use all of Dinar's advantages. No, I'm joking. I don't.
Make a roll disadvantage.
Ooh, 21.
That's good. There is a point at which you like lose your footing coming back down.
Oh.
And after a single somersault, you put the hands out and the feet out
Just like a cat.
and just
Nice.
and you're able to stop instead of rolling it the entire way, the rest of the way down into the back of Dinar.
So it's Rosie, Dinar, me, and then Cthulhu. And when I do that, I look back to see if anybody saw me, and I just see it's just Cthulhu, and I'm like, oh, nah.
Nope, nobody saw me.
It's like, as far as I know, this is just part of locomotion. Doesn't
Yeah,
matter.
exactly.
I don't care.
It doesn't do anything.
I don't even know if you fell down. You probably wanted to do that.
Yep. Anyway, that's it.
I love it.
That's all I had.
All right, now you attract the occasional glance from dutiful workers on the deck. You make your way out to sort of like the ragged tip of the shell out front where Coriander has waited dutifully. And there are... There you can see right across the gangplank, you can see Brahma there.
Sweet. Is she wearing her crown?
She is, and she also has your crown,
Oh, no.
and she's holding it, and she's giving you a look that communicates wordlessly, please come back.
Okay. I left her alone with 100 children.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So when we get on the boat, I'll go over to her.
Exactly. As you take a few steps, as you take a couple steps over, Dinar, you see there's a little tug at the back of your bulwark cloak, and you turn and see Tara Speestinger, who you met on the fishing boat. And he says, "Sir, we never had a chance to see these famous talents of yours."
Which ones?
And
Yeah, you're gonna have to be more specific, friend. And he just condescendingly just
and he holds his hand up and just
move his hand, and
and then his hand also
I'm
comes
just
up.
trying to fight
and
through
then
to pat him on the hand.
This goes on for 3 weeks.
Yeah, I'm like, I'll get there.
But then we're at the Salos.
It's just a matter of time.
Yeah.
It's just I'm getting there.
I'll pat that head.
And he says, well, the fishing ones, sir.
Ah, yes.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, the old
Rod and reel.
dragons of the sea.
Oh boy.
That's
He says, I haven't heard that story.
everyone says that. Yes, that's your fault. If you haven't heard it, that's your fault.
Maybe you should tell him the story of the dragons of the sea.
No,
dinner.
I don't like to encourage ignorance. If you don't know, it's your own fault, and I'll judge you accordingly.
Well, he says, before we get underway again,
Yeah.
we think that the fleet could use one final harvest, and we'd love to bring you out.
I would love to show you the ropes there, little guy.
No. No. This is
Starts coming from the side, trying to like
he
hold his face like,
he puts up like the uprights.
yeah.
Like at the end of the field, and then you can just come right down to
Yeah.
the bottom, and it's just like he thought he had a great plan.
Yeah.
Like, he was covering a lot of vectors.
It's like he's like trying to go like this to like get the sides of his face, and he's blocking it, and he just goes, "Mwah."
Just that beak.
Got him down the middle.
All right, so our camera will now shift over to the vessel proper, and as you make your way up to the end of the gangplank, Brahma extends her hand and says, "Milady,
Oh,
they're getting to me.
I don't think that
They are
that's
getting
necessary.
to me."
How about this? How about I put on my crown?
She says, "I need you to wear it. I think that you should wear it."
Okay. And I put it on. And is it like a lot? Is it really heavy?
No, it's fine. It's just sort of like it's hard to know what it means. And
Okay.
Is this the first time we've seen you wear it?
I think it's the first time y'all have seen me wear it. Yes.
yeah, like, and you can still see it
Denari's
from the edge of the
far
boat.
away,
Like,
and he goes,
ha!
And I go, it's a crown.
It doesn't look like one. You think I'm gonna crap on your head?
unicorn
Ha!
Looks like what?
You heard me. We're going fishing.
Walnut's like, don't make me come down there.
Yeah. She says, "No, you have to come down here."
Where?
Uh,
Oh, and I say, is it the daughters?
she like starts to walk back toward the captain quarters that has the 2 stairs that
Yeah.
descend into the middle deck, and she walks that back way, and she doesn't even look back. She just like holds her hand out behind her.
I grab her hand, but I say,
We just gotta.
Brahma, we are not queens. I am not their queen.
I don't know. I don't know what a queen is. Like we might be. Maybe we are. Do you know?
I know no one person can rule the grove. That's not how a grove works.
We gotta learn these kids.
I'm ready to tell him. Let's go. And then she goes, she sees how weary Brahma is, and she thinks better of it. Like, maybe she's not ready to tell the kids.
And she walks over, and then she takes by the as you pass the mainmast on the way back, she just like steadies herself with her hand on the mainmast, and then just like bonks her head a couple times on it, and then
She's been up all night. taking care of the
exactly,
kids.
and then just continues. You know how it is. It's like it's about that childcare. It's that second shift.
Sure.
You know what I mean?
You know.
Yeah.
So you get into the back room, and then you can sort of hear like a rumbling whisper that is just issuing up from the twin staircases as you go down, and as you get down there, it's
I'm a queen. I descend.
exactly.
No, I'm joking. Oh my God.
It's happened.
No.
Cannon.
No, exactly, and you, it's much brighter than it has been previously.
Okay.
There appear to be additional light sources, almost like wisps
Oh, yeah, great.
or fairy fire. Like, this is one of the most normal things you've seen, frankly, in this bizarre place
I'm comforted.
for a very long time. And as you hit the bottom stair, Brahma says, "Here we go." And you can see them all they're all in a group in the center. And then the first rank goes to a knee and salutes, and the second rank puts a hand on their like left shoulder and then goes like this. And then the rest of them like spread out, and they make a kind of elven amphitheater out of all of it.
Walnut says, daughters.
It says, "Our queens."
Walnut says, rise and never again kneel before me.
It takes a while. It takes a while for it to happen, and there's a few hangers on, but eventually they rise. But in order so that they can all see the queens, they have now begun to sort of filter out and like surround.
That's fine.
So now you're standing in the center, and you keep hearing the word council sort of like whispered through the group.
I say, what can I do for you? What do you need?
In an instant, one of the daughters steps forward and says, "We need to know our own ways."
Oof.
with this like a unicorn crown. Oof.
Yeah.
Oof. Duh. Stomp. Stomp. Stomp.
Walnut says,
And Brahma is looking intently for you, and
Yeah.
you can just you know that because you know her well, as well as she lets anyone know her. You know that she's been like drafted into this.
yes.
There is this is an ancient mystery that much of it was lost. I mean, you've been in mystic chambers inside the wandering crypt that indicated and referenced parts of your own culture that you've never seen
Yes.
truly made manifest. I mean, your Raymond is based on what you've remembered of these collapsed rituals.
Yeah. So when they say that to me, I think for a moment and I say, there was a way that Nilayan knew in her time. And there was a way that I knew in my time. But now this is our time, and we need to be better than what came before us. I'll teach you what I know, but we have to be better than that.
In a single voice, the entire group asks a question.
Oh my God.
And they say, "Are we to have names?"
Oh.
Oh, and Walnut says, Walnut remembers
Because you
in her
know
childhood,
Yeah.
her childhood, the children had names. And when they became adults, they would get their true names. But everyone else was just called mother, mother's grandmother. It's like there was not a lot of autonomy.
it's more about rank and role.
It's about rank and roll, exactly.
Right. And they are, and they were given a deeply corrupt mysticism
Yes.
to dwell in and act on. And so even the understanding that they have is fractional, and they're still trying to build it. And so it is like a tomb of silence now as they wait for the answer.
Walnut says, we should all have names of our choosing. I will not give you your names, but you may choose them.
Very quickly, one of the daughters of Malith steps forward and says, I am Sonnet. And like she's trying it on, and then there's some like nods of agreement, and you can hear other whispered names throughout the group. And she says, there are more questions.
Okay.
And she says, and you can see as the names are sort of being passed around and honored
I love it. I'm like
between them,
shivering.
you can see just like a shape, like a different shape, similar in raiment, but sort of like moving through the crowd. Everyone else is perfectly still, but there's like a just something else, a silhouette
Okay.
that's sort of like traveling through the crowd. And then while you're trying to identify it,
Yeah.
Sonnet gets your attention again and says, may we learn to use the long sword.
We should use every weapon available to us.
And she says, even though long swords were used to destroy our order. And there's some nods of disagreement, or some nods of agreement, and some heat coming to those people.
Well, it says, in the same way that fire destroys the forest, it also helps it regrow. And then she looks at Brahma and she's just like, but then she looks again for that shape in the crowd.
The tilt, yeah, exactly. And it's, as you find that shape moving through, Sonnet says, should a Salith be allowed to learn magic?
Walnut says,
And
I know.
this one is not. Their vote's pretty clear on this.
And Walnut
Like
says,
that's just like,
yeah.
okay.
And Walnut says, the Saliths have always lived outside the grove, but been a part of it. They live apart, yet they help breathe life into our grove. They should be allowed in as we are allowed in. They should live among us, and they too should give themselves names.
This is definitely. This is like the wrong note.
That's fine. And Walnut says, I have lived on the outside, and I've seen what their strengths and their weaknesses are. And coming together is one of their strengths. We have to be better than the people that came before us. And all that happened to us was going from a great grove to a small, dying grove to a dead one. And unless we want that to happen again, we have to band together.
That shape that you have seen travel through the group is sort of like rank by rank, sort of pressed to the edge. And you can see that as part of this group that was brought along, there has been a Salith the entire time that has been beneath your notice.
Nice.
And you can see that he has the traditional raiment. You saw it in your own father.
Yes.
They have large satchels for distributing food, medicine, and he is sort of like almost like bodily pressed to the edge.
I say you Salith. What is your name?
Salith.
No. What is your name? What name would you have me call you?
Salith.
You want your name to be Salith?
My name is Salith.
Fine. This Salith may be called Salith. And she looks at everybody else and she goes, but if any other Salith wants a different name, they're allowed to. And I say to the Salith, I
You
say,
have to pick a different name.
I say,
They can't be this guy.
No repeat
Just-
names.
and I say, fine. I'll allow that. But I will teach you magic.
Oh, and they take a step away from him, and he moves forward and definitely sort of like is constrained by the social situation. He is being pressed into a diamond.
I say, we are all children of the goddesses. All of us. Even them upstairs, even them outside. They just don't know it. But we here are the ones that keep the faith, and I will teach him magic.
All boys allowed.
On Walnut. One boy allowed.
One boy allowed.
One boy. Sonnet is not moved particularly either way by that. She's here to ask questions
That's fine.
and get answers, and she's all out of bubblegum.
She's all out of bubblegum.
Yeah, and so she says, "Do we have queens?"
Walnut says, I would have us have a council. We haven't had queens since Nilaean's time. I believe Nilaean's way to be an old way, to be a wrong way.
And she says, "What rank should we give you?"
I am happy to just be among you.
Sister, then.
Sister is great. We will all be sister.
Their arms enfold one another and draw each other close, and then they begin to disperse throughout the hall.
Really takes that moment. Is she drawn in as well?
Yeah, absolutely. Everything is like this.
She has a moment.
Foreheads are touching.
She has a moment there, and she like draws Brahma in,
Yeah.
where she has like a sense memory of this kind of camaraderie.
Just that camaraderie.
Yeah, from before, and not a strong one. She wasn't super involved, but like there is like that glimmer that this is a grove again.
Nice. Well, what an incredible moment to pause. We have reached the break. Shadow Council, may our labors please you. Don't go nowhere. We'll be right back. Hello, I'm Jeffrey K. Horkran, and this is Test C Teams. So when last we saw our heroes, Walnut Dawn Grass of the Enclave had done her part to establish some new fundamentals, perhaps, for the Enclave. Oh, don't worry. I got it.
If you want to address it.
Obviously, you know.
Shouldn't we wait to start until Kate gets back?
I know, she's in the bathroom right now.
Historically
This is rude.
speaking,
This
we
feels
have
rude.
had a Kate, you know, it's like, let's see.
Kate!
Hang on, so she's going to be in the upper, and then it's like here,
You'd see her there.
it's like,
Side.
but no.
Finally, she's back.
The
Where'd she
truth
go?
is, now, gathered friends, you know, or you may know, or you will know very shortly, that we are all going to go down and be a part of the D&D Live 2019 event.
We are?
Indeed. Called The
What?
Descent. I am playing in a game with a bunch of people who are, I would say, intimidatingly more famous than me. There's some fear associated with that, but I'm going to do my best to represent as Omen Drawn. But of course, the C team itself has a game going on down there as well. We're going to wrap in some of the Descent, you know, Avernus, hellish type stuff in that mix, and then throw a few tasty items from the upcoming Acquisitions Incorporated book.
What?
Oh, ho, ho. I'm very excited to do it. Of course, I'm excited to see everybody who is on their way down to the show. Don't be a stranger. We really, really, really enjoy talking to the people who make our bizarre lives possible. Come on up. But no, pursuant to that, Ms. Beestinger, because she works at Wizards of the Coast, Baby Wizard no more, she is going down to set that whole event up, and traffic from here is such that she had to pull the ripcord and bounce early. But don't worry, I've discovered
high enough.
I've discovered a narrative.
High enough for her. Even if you can't see the drawing, it doesn't matter.
I've manufactured some narrative horse shit that should allow it to make sense that Kate is not here.
Here. So she's...
It was all pre-planned, everybody.
So what do we think, Josh? Does that work?
Are we in frame?
Sure.
I'll take it. I'll take it. When last we saw Heroes, we had manufactured a society. Pretty cool. Big step, I think, for any D&D campaign.
Is it? Kate's got me second guessing it. Table talk.
Really? Oh, don't forget.
Love that grenade in the room and left.
I was just gonna say, let's manage this during the table talk session. All right,
Okay.
it's all
All
good.
right.
Talkie table.
Now, Taurus Beestinger, another Beestinger.
Ugh,
I know.
lousy with them.
Yeah, exactly. It's a flock of these.
A
beings.
murder of bee stingers.
Exactly. He is leading you sort of over to the edge of the deck. And there is just over the sort of the railing, there is like bolted directly onto the lower half of the conch that reaches below is a ladder you can climb directly down the edge of the boat proper.
That I can climb?
Yeah, exactly. You'll be skipping a rung or two,
Okay.
but it is not impossible. It turns out that everything that you can see up here, star-wise, it just continues down here. You are surrounded by this.
Okay. Yeah, I will go. You were, with your crown stuff, what were you doing?
Let's see. We walked down. We got out of the office.
I got out of the office about 5:30.
Yeah.
Big project.
Traffic was just,
Oh, jeez. I probably would. I would not have been welcome in that zone. Brahma would have
Oh, I would
been.
have loved if you were sitting on the stairs listening to that. Because then I would have someone to talk to about it.
What a treat.
Yeah. How do we reconvene then? I think I would just be standing on the deck then, wondering how to convert these fine people.
We can absolutely touch on this. Now, once we get a hold of a few more writhing platinum eye-covered eels, so delicious, we can investigate that portion of it, and then I can wrap up this session and lead us into the descent game.
all right, so I'm following Taurus.
Exactly. So it's like
My death.
It's like you grab a rung, and then you grab another rung like 5 or 6 rungs below, and then you're reaching out with your foot, trying to get that next one, coming down this curve, and you can see that Taurus has actually sort of climbed out face first, and is just scrabbling down, upside down like a bug.
Oh, I say, ew.
Is this on the hull of the
On the conch,
Nautilus? Yeah. Okay. Let's say that I saw you descend.
Yeah.
And since you have not come back, I'm gonna look out over the rail.
Yeah.
So, Donald, where are you going? What are you doing?
Going fishing. I'm going fishing.
They will need their strength. Like I'm gonna throw my leg over. I want to join you.
Yeah, come on out.
Can more fish?
I like you start following and go, I'm going fishing alone. And you're like, I'm coming.
Good idea.
Absolutely. No, as many can fish as long to.
And then Walnut is in the boat, or is in Coriander,
Yeah.
Giving,
right?
giving guidance to.
Exactly. And this has happened.
Okay,
This is
okay.
happening right now.
I see.
If you were to, hold your hand over your ear at the top of the stair, you'd begin to hear the beginning parts of the council. But you can't do that because you're over on the other thing. And as you make your way down this curve, you can see that the bottom of this is crisscrossed with these
Applesauce.
no
Make you jump.
crisscrossed with these rung paths.
Yeah.
Some of them much older than others. You get the impression that there have been many ideas about how to do this over time, and it was easier just to add a new one.
Yeah. Even like different crews had different ways they preferred.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly. Oh, and so the way that it,
So
go ahead.
the way this is oriented in space, you could just keep climbing and go around the other side. There's just one big ladder that just goes under the. There's no water, right? So it doesn't stop at any
exactly.
surface. Are the boats all on a level plane, or are there some floating lower or higher?
Spatially.
That was it, yeah.
It's like a social convention that they agree on. Imagine that they have something like a compass or a gimbaled device, and social convention keeps them floating more or less as though they're on water, but height variance aren't too crazy.
Yeah.
But the orientation of the vessels is the same. Just because I think it makes more sense.
And if we were to let go, would we drift off of the
drift.
edge? Okay. All right. We wouldn't plummet.
I grab you
something
and pull you back.
It's that
You're
Cloak-
if we let go, what? Just
this has to be real.
yeah.
Yeah. What happens if I let go?
You're just
I don't
thinking
feel
out
cold.
loud. Yeah, I don't feel anything. And I just gotta grab your foot and say, whoa.
Back on here. And so Taurus has shimmied down the rest of the belly, and then at the very base, you can see where their strange anchor stone is placed. And you had seen this before in the last episode. This is something very heavy with minimal propulsion capability, but essentially it has a massive ring from which various fishing boats sort of drift away. And so those boats are attached all along the base of the ship, between 8 and 10. It's like the curvature makes it hard to tell, but you remember seeing about that many out when you saw it before. So they have those sort of just attached to the bottom. And then when the crystal is released, the boats sort of sail out, and then people. It's like when you jump onto a boat off of the dock where there's no gangplank, and there's a measure of faith associated with it. But they're obviously adept at this process, and they have left a boat specifically for the two of you to enter, and so it has become decoupled and has begun to float away.
Where did Taurus go? A different boat?
Exactly.
They're trying to squeeze in there with us?
No, they're right next to each other.
Okay.
It's easy so he has actually jumped in with one of his friends in another one, and he's willing to show you the ropes
Oh, that's cute. Show
here.
me the ropes.
out here against the ribbons.
Show him the
He's
ropes.
like, well, no, I know once we get you out there, they're gonna come. They're gonna come calling. But maybe you've never cast a net like this before, and so
I have.
okay. Well, I should have known. I should have known.
But I have not. And
Perfect.
You've never told me
Perfect.
about it.
Then I will. Then we're gonna go into it. All right. And so he.
Is there room for more in this boat? I'm concerned. Where are Rosie and I know Walnut went back to deal with some royal business.
I don't know. Why? I'm just trying to go fishing. Why are you here?
For the fish. We've got to get more of these fish if we're going to survive this journey.
Story checks out.
Dang it.
Damn. All right.
And so there's a
Got an answer for everything, this guy.
There's a couple. As the boats sort of gently descend away, it's easy to switch hand from here to here and get yourself in. But you can see that sort of against where they clamp onto the base, you can see that there's something like a little open window or portal between the ship and each of the boats that it sort of acts as a cap. And you get a sense of why that might be. Each of these small boats includes within it something like a dice bag, but much larger. So there's 2 satchels that are placed sort of in the base of the fishing rafts. And each of these contains within it 5 glowing spheres. That sort of, they have sort of like a mesh or spiderweb pattern on them.
Okay.
And you think that it's like a net that's just been like twisted closed, like compressed down into something that can be tossed out.
Like a Pokeball.
Yeah, exactly. That's very well put. That is the process. Would you like to learn how to fish Prince Blitzen? I mean, obviously you already know, but would you like to teach us how to fish?
Yeah, he says like, show my ignorant friend here.
All right, now, Mr. Draub, if you would be so kind as to remove Ms. Beestinger's filthy dice. That dice is very important.
Okay.
Because that dice, the D20, determines the fish target. That's where it is inside these sort of undulating ribbons. And that is what you're going to cast your net toward. So your net, should you choose to accept it, is every other one of your dice. So why don't you get the other dice in your hand?
Like all these guys.
Uh-huh.
All right.
So that is, for everyone's sake at home, a D4, a D6, a D8, a D10, your percentage D10, which is the same for this purpose, a D12, and there you go. Now, you don't need the smaller D20 because we're going to be rolling the big ones for legibility's sake. Now, Mr. Draub, if you would be so kind, I'm going to make a little frame here. Each cast, I'm going to make a little frame for so that I can track your score. All right.
Ooh.
What?
Competing.
Yes, that is correct. Taurus says, now we gotta bring in, each of you have your nets. We need to bring in 9 loads from each of these. Can you do it? Because these...
I can scale down to 9, yeah.
All right.
Can average us to 9 apiece.
Exactly. So, Cthulhu, as you look out against this sort of this vertical shimmering ribbon, you can see what looks almost like little glimmers or like lumps, something like a worm might be like beneath the skin. A wadum. Now, if you would please roll your D20, that will determine the fish target.
Sure. Let's have it.
20. Now, gathered throng.
Hey.
Shadow Council, Mayor Labor please you. Of course,
you got it just to identify
I know.
fish.
Your servant, Cthulhu Draub, has offered you a boon. Now, the boon that we're going to dish up foist, of course, is from our friends at the Elderwood Academy. If you would be so kind, Prince Blitzen, to show them these cannot be purchased. It's possible that they can be purchased at some time in the future, but for now, the only way to get them is to watch our show.
You son of a...
And fish.
Spend time with us
Go fish.
and get a fish.
Look at these. Can I use these? Throw these?
You could, but they may be harder for them to listen. It might be hard for them to see. Now, listen, now,
Did you say, little die?
in this game,
You love me too?
in this game, the way that we play it is we roll a target number on our D20. So it's like a lot of the other games that we played in the first season, and maybe even part of the second season, were based around Giants and Halflings, which, as we all know, is fundamentally a Dragonborn game.
Yep.
The real version is Vaults, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Occasionally, Thieves Guild play a game called Pickpocket, which has its derivation there. Much harder odds. Giants and Halflings, much easier for the player. In our model of fishing, that 20 represents the target number. But in this it's actually very, very good to roll a 20 because the way that we play the game is by casting our net. We roll every dice we have in our hand and we try to add dice up to the number of the target.
Okay.
And the fastest, easiest way that we can do that, the better. Because any dice that are used to get that target are removed from our net. And that limits the type of numbers we can get in the future.
I see.
The reason why a 20 is so great is because we don't even need to roll our dice. A 20 means that you simply choose the dice you want to commit, and that becomes the dice that's expended for that roll.
I see. Okay.
So being able to expend one dice for a 20 is a ridiculous level of value. You will come to know terms that Mr. Benson and I came up with, like cheap fish. A cheap fish is when you can use one or maybe even two of the right dice to claim a fish. So this 20, now look in your hand.
D4 would be the best then, right?
Dunno.
I have a theory about this, but I will tell you during table talk.
Okay.
Okay.
But the fact of the matter is, it is a choice.
Because it lets you, I guess it lets you get close, yeah.
Exactly. That's my theory on it as well. So
then
you
you might want to remove from the middle of the bell
Yeah,
curve
yeah, yeah.
at this point.
I would think you would want to keep your 12 because it's it's theoretically...
There
Do
is
you want to get rid of your percentage because it's the same as
It's
the other
duplicated,
one?
that's what I was
Yeah.
thinking.
There's a
Get rid of the
surprising amount of thought that you can use to get it. But
Okay.
the fact of the matter is you started this game as well as you possibly could.
right,
A
so-
successful round of fishing constitutes 9 successes over 5 net casts.
5.
9? You've only got 6 die.
9 successes. All right?
So if
So throw a dice away
Okay.
of your choice.
All right,
now-
so then my other top.
So you currently have 1 success on your first cast. Now, take that d20 and roll it again.
All right. What if I get 20 again?
18.
18.
Not great,
Terrible.
because it is very high.
Yeah.
Now, cast the rest of your net.
All right, let's see what we got here. We got a 7, 6, another 6,
13.
ooh, and a 3 and 2.
So this might be what we call an expensive fish.
Yeah, it's not great. Not great fish. 12 and
I might say 7, 3, 6, 2.
7, 3, 6, and 2. Yeah.
Now, where you get that 6 is important because having a d10 for your last cast might give you a greater range.
Yeah.
Something to consider.
Let me try. I'll get rid of the D6, and we will see what happens.
You got rid of all of them.
You get
all
rid
the
of
ones you spend.
all the ones
of
that you
spent.
spend.
Oh, okay, so
So are you
wait.
keeping a
What
d6
was
or
I
are you
doing? What was I
keeping a
doing?
10?
7, 3, 6, 2.
7, 3, 6, 2.
The fact that you rolled a 2 on that 12 hurts.
Yeah.
It hurts bad. So
7, 3, 6.
So at 9.
That's it.
Yeah,
So you got to roll low on that D20.
exactly.
Well, usually I'm
Come
good
on,
at that.
4.
All right,
Come on,
so
Mr. 4.
Yeah, let's see the Cthulhu special.
I'm gonna take disadvantage.
You gotta get lucky for these last ones. 11. Can't do it.
Impossible.
Can't be done.
Impossible.
The fish
so,
are too good.
2 successes on your first cast. So you see now,
Yeah.
you really need to have 2 successes per cast
Yeah.
in order to successfully play this game.
Yeah.
I see.
Are you ready for round 2, Mr. Drout?
Sure.
Are we going to alternate or
Of
just?
course.
Actually, why not? Let's go back and forth for real fishing action.
Otherwise, you just gotta listen to me for another 10 minutes. Try to count.
So he does that, and like, how do Taurus and them react? Are they impressed?
Well, they see a nod. I mean, they see two.
Are they impressed?
They see two loads of wriggling.
Keep saying loads, and I'll keep laughing.
They see 2 thick loads of.
Ropey.
Yeah,
I would
frothy,
never have said that on my
frothy, stringy.
No, Kiko is back there listening to this right now. He can't handle this kind of
Oh,
cough.
sorry.
These are disgusting fish.
No, exactly.
Ugh.
These are gross.
From space.
They are gross, and so they are. But it's like all they're looking at is that they know what it takes. They know what it takes to build one of those nets, and they're looking for a return of at least 2 per cast, and they saw it.
Wow, so they're nodding in approval.
Yeah, well,
Right.
no, it's
First
like,
try,
it's
they're like, "Whoa, whoa,
yeah,
whoa."
they're like, but they don't want to see less than that, obviously. So is it time to cast
So,
your ball?
Yeah, so I get. I go. You're impressed by that? I'll show you. I'll show you fishing. Now that's pod racing. I'll take advantage.
Go ahead.
Ooh.
Go ahead, big man. I go in awakened mind, trying to contact Walnut.
So you want to have your choice of d20s.
Yeah.
You bet.
What the hell do you say to me?
I say,
Not that 3.
say-
Well, actually,
He's very good.
pretty good.
my Leaky, where are you? I've entered into some sort of a social gambling challenge, and I don't know what's at stake.
I say, who? Are you? I can't do this right now. But who are you gambling with?
I say, hey, get off the head, get off the forehead.
Just a second, Dinar. You hear, but you.
I hear it just like Dinar.
with Dinar and one of these bee stingers. It's some sort of a fish ritual.
I say,
Ritual.
I say, you're betting with Dinar. Your life's at stake. I'm sorry, I gotta go. And I get back to my grove stuff.
All right. So your target number is 3,
And I got a 3.
and you got a 3. This is what we call a cheap fish.
Get that cheap ass fish.
So you
What'd you
rolled
call
it.
me?
You rolled a 3.
I got it.
Yeah, you rolled a 3.
I got one of those
get an
cheap
easy one.
ass fish.
Yeah. Now toss that. Here is our second cast.
Yeah, what's that worth?
Nothing.
20?
Big bag of nothing. 9.
9.
Very reasonable target.
rolls.
Go ahead and leave it in there so people know. Just put it up in the corner. There you go. Now toss the rest of your net. Let's see.
Yeah, just leave it in until you pull it out.
I always do. I got a 9.
Wow.
Another cheap fish?
Oh man.
Wow. Yeah, exactly.
Jesus.
Beginner's luck, and Chris is upset. He didn't realize.
Somehow-
just grinning ear to ear.
It's unsettling.
Big,
We
big
can see
talk.
this. We can see this big membrane inside the Dragonborn's mouth.
20! Beep, 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 beep.
Womp, 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 womp.
Womp 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 womp. Shadow Council, Mayor Labors, please you. Your servant Dinar Blitzen has offered you a boon. Of course, in this case,
Let's see it.
it is these cool dice.
What is?
Oh, from Level Up, you will like. Look at these.
Ooh.
What?
Wow.
Heap of dice. You get a bag of D6s like this. It's time to start looking into Fate system games, maybe Worldwide Wrestling.
She's teal. She's
Ooh.
nice.
Oh,
I like when you were describing it. You're like, it's like a dice bag, but larger.
Yeah.
Like a bag? That's a bag,
mean like
man,
a
Jerry.
sack?
Yeah.
It fits within that definition.
yeah.
It's a wide range.
Yeah.
Now I got a question. What do I get rid of? The
Yes.
D4, the D6?
I find the D20 question quite interesting when you get to 20.
Well, these are worth. Well, this is worth 1 through 8.
It's a 1 to 10 range.
Or 1 to 10 range.
Generally
I got
speaking, when I do the
12
calculation,
and a
that's how I do
10
it.
and a 6. I'm probably gonna get rid of the D4.
Yeah.
I think I'm gonna get rid of the D4. All right, so I've already got 3,
You do.
and I'm just nudging you.
3 is way outside.
His
the curve.
eyes are bugging. He's got the fever. This isn't gambling. He's
Yeah.
fishing, but
it's good
it's
enough.
competition.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fish fever.
Yeah, and he's just starts getting manic and crazy.
Nice try. Just hanging out with the boys.
And just
You're ruining Dinar. I'm ruining my grove. This is
I'm gonna beat this, and I'm gonna kill you.
I love men's time.
Fish.
Now, even with 3 dice, 11's a tricky one.
Yeah,
it.
for some people.
Shit! Okay, I don't even want to tell you how many times I've played this game. I've never gotten 4.
Well, you know,
played with the
you've
women.
never played with someone as great as me.
True.
All right, I got 1.
You have a
D10 left.
D10 is very good.
I'm gonna take advantage again, just because.
I didn't know you even took it one time.
Yeah, I want to try to get a single-digit number,
Yeah.
and then I want to just go for the gusto.
No.
8, 14. So we'll take
all
the
right.
8.
8.
So I got a 1 in 8 chance, or 1 in 10 chance.
Yeah.
There is a situation, just so you know for the future, if the target dice comes up a 1, obviously any dice has a 1 on it, but you have to exchange a 1. You can't subtract dice or anything like that.
Okay.
You have to exchange a 1 for a 1 in that case.
All right. Well, I got an 8, so let's see what we get.
If you get a fucking 5,
Woo.
I will bite part of you off. Oh, thank Christ. All right. I mean,
Double what you got.
This is very amusing.
Just drooling.
it's just like
You think you'll win?
it's just like little like acrid droplets of acidic spittle just floating out into space. Take it away, Mr. Drow.
All right, let's go. See what we can do.
So I'm preening now to Taurus and the rest.
Oh no! Is there anything I've actually been wondering about this because there's some cool lizards that have like odd displays.
Yeah.
Like do Janari Dragonborn? I mean, we know there's certain things about them. 2 dicks,
Well,
crazy tails.
Yeah.
Is there anything like if he's actually like preening super proud? Is there a frill? Or is it just like the mouth membrane in the back?
No,
It's two
it's
frills.
because he's got the frill like the spitting dinosaurs,
spitting lizard.
but he does that when he pukes. But now he's getting so caught up in the competition of it that's coming out not as a crowing sort of thing, but because he's like, I can only equate this to my own dog at the dog park, who is just the worst dog at the dog park, and he starts going crazy and manic, just playing with other dogs, and he starts foaming at the mouth because he's too excited.
It's like mania.
I'm gonna channel my own dog.
It's like a fan
Yeah, so
burst.
he's like,
All right,
and it's like,
13.
you're embarrassing me.
What we got here?
How can you get there?
Ugh. Vomit. Well, I can do 5, 5, and 3.
Perfect. That is what we call an expensive fish.
Yeah. The best kind.
You got this.
Keep trying.
Yes,
You want another net ball?
we occasionally call it toro.
Oh, the fatty tuna. Ugh.
Oh, yeah.
There's no way. Where were these rolls
You're
at any
rolling
other point
great,
in my
yeah.
life? Trash. What is this?
1,
3, and it's a
No.
9, right? That's nothing.
You went to hell.
You got
That's
one
it.
fish
One fish.
on 2 balls.
So he casts it out and then pulls back this gleaming cord that has secured within it a single lethargic, aged eel. So stringy, so tough.
Child's play. Only the best. I reach out to Rosie. Rosie, are you there? Do the bee stingers have some sort of a fish challenge where if you lose, you are ejected from the fleet?
She says, "You went fishing with bee stingers?"
Yes, because it seemed trivial to me. And I saw Dinar.
She says, ugh, and then that's the last thing she says.
I said, get off the forehead.
Just taking care of important business. Now back to the fun.
You watch me beat you. 7.
God.
You got it.
Good. 7 is quite good.
Wow.
Make it a fish.
Wow.
Well, you can do it too.
Yeah.
I know. It's not an expensive fish by any means.
7. Yeah, we'll do that.
Interesting.
Yes.
I like the range on these. I like the range on this.
I like the range on these.
All right, so I'm up to 5.
All right.
Are
I cannot afford to become a pariah.
in this new
6.
social 6. Oh, the number of the beast.
Remember the beef.
Fish.
Let's get that D6.
There it is.
Oh, no,
Cheap fish.
D10, but still. Whoop. There we go.
Cheap fish.
You watching this? Hey! You're just looking away.
Look at that.
Watch me!
Watch me go.
Watch me go. Watch me go. 16. That ain't a good one.
Bummer.
Yeah.
This might be a 3-fish round.
Only.
Oh.
Oh,
Wow.
right to hell.
Yeah, only 2.
Right to hell. You bring them back, but these fish are lean,
Yeah.
virile.
Thick fish.
No, you see them
Just dummy thick.
No, and there's a kinship.
Yeah.
Like between you and this fish, like you both recognize your part.
Yeah.
In this grand opera.
Oh my god. You get it. You gain a level in Druid.
One of my fish has died.
And you just droop it over the edge of the boat.
As if I did not catch it.
Yeah. When you pull it out, it just did the slide whistle.
Yeah, as if the fish sees the bond that they share. And as if it hasn't felt bad the
can't
rest of
honor
its
you.
life. It can't even do me a
Yeah.
favor.
Predator and prey. The grand dance continues. So, yes!
All right, here we go.
Take it away.
Let's see it.
I'm up to 6.
All right,
That's the number of the
Okay.
beast.
10, maybe possible.
I like what I'm seeing. There's many 10s. In my father's house, there are many 10s.
We got a 6 over here.
Second.
You can't subtract any. That's
Yeah, I know I
You
can.
can. You can.
Oh, you can?
Wait, you can subtract?
But we haven't needed to yet. But you can definitely, it makes for an expensive fish, obviously.
Yeah.
That's Toro. But
Oh, I see. Yeah.
it's not optimal.
That's
but you want to get at least 2 per fish, right?
That's Toro. Yeah, you could do 8, 3 and 1.
You
Well, yeah,
could.
I've done 2 other configurations. I always lose 3 dice, so
Yeah, there you go.
It doesn't matter.
Snatch 'em.
Let's just do that.
Okay.
What the
You're
heck?
letting down those halflings are gonna starve because of you. You hear Walnut's voice echo in your mind.
Starvation.
Death. The natural order.
They'll never listen to my promises of, spiritual awakening. At this
No,
occasion, bring them in the
it's
face.
like somewhere you just hear the sound of a guillotine in space. You know death is near.
This should be called Fish and Loaves because you get the bread.
Yeah.
And it's a classic maneuver to say, well, how good is your God? Just how many fish can you make? And I cannot deliver.
Yeah,
this fish.
that's like the classic comparison.
Oh, yeah?
Of manifesting potatoes.
He's got a feast over there. It's a one-man feast.
Oh, man.
Jesus.
These are the best rolls of my life.
I know, you are rolling
murdering it.
great. It's on brand that when you want to roll low, you're rolling high.
Yeah, can't do it.
You went to hell.
A single,
Prince splits in.
barely a
Dinar
fish.
starts feeling bad.
Barely a fish.
It's like now you're fishing for 2.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
You are fishing.
I'm like apologizing for Cthulhu to like the bee stingers. Like
Exactly.
he
Well, and you can.
he doesn't represent us.
Yeah, exactly. But after the first round, a few of the other boats are sort of like watching your cast and respiration with real interest.
And then I'm just like, no, I'm really like, which way are the fish? Are they that way?
Oh my god. Flexing?
For the podcast,
Those fish?
over there.
Fish over there?
This is the sound of all of them flexing.
Okay,
Yeah.
just so you know.
know.
All right, now hit it. Cast 3.
16. Oh no, your stink is starting to rub off on me.
Now, if you were to fix a glyph into your mind, Dinar, as a winner, would it be that of the Ur?
You do 3.
916, yeah. But I lose my big dice. I really don't want to lose this 6.
Yeah, you want to go 6 and you want to go
take
with a
that 4
D6.
away.
I would lose all of them.
Yeah,
I
you'd lose
can't do
everything.
that. I gotta get a 916, I think.
You want to keep 3 dice? Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, one
That's it.
fish.
1 fish.
One fish. No. I know.
Oh, it's come out. Meanwhile, I'm taking a nice stroll on deck with my wife.
My wife!
Nope. Never mind.
I'm taking a stroll with my wife!
No.
For the podcast. That was Amy just talking. The podcast, that was my wife.
Podcast, that was my wife.
5.
All right. Remember the beast.
That's doable.
You could do it,
So like a tiny beast.
but you didn't.
Is this Jack?
No. No. It's. I think that's okay.
We'll call it a 3.
So you can do 8 minus 3, 5.
Yep.
All right, roll low, I guess. Still doing pretty good.
Roll solo.
So I'm at 8, so this is theoretically the end.
Yeah, exactly. If you cut another fish right here, you'd be ready to go.
Just take advantage.
10. Now I'm a
Yeah,
D6.
can't do it. Can't do it. All right, now, Chris,
I was thinking about it, but I'm going to say this
Listen.
next round.
it's been. Wow. That's all I can say. It's been.
Cthulhu, I just go, I was kidding. I'm trying to get out of the boat.
Dinar.
Understand that the boat is attached to that crystalline anchor by a cord.
Yeah.
You could theoretically leave the boat in safety, climbing through the phlogiston.
And I start, but I realize how long people would be seeing that. And it's just
awkwardly-
pathetic.
No, listen. Now, for fan fictional purposes, can we say that you at least got about 20 feet and then came back out on the rope?
And then I come back like, that's the part I was kidding about. Give me one more of those nets.
Dinar, starts getting, a little sad and hugs you. And he goes, I'm sorry. I'm sorry about this.
What for?
Well, in Jannar, the loser of a fishing competition is killed. And I'm sorry, friend.
And I revere the old ways.
I'm sorry.
I made that net, I'm going to throw it around. All right, here we go. All right.
A 10.
It's
That's
doable.
Good.
Quite
Maybe.
reasonable.
now he's just like, hey,
Okay.
okay, buddy.
It's like,
hey,
so you know what? Just get a hold of it.
yeah. You know what?
Like kind of like behind me, kind of guiding my arm a little bit,
Yeah.
like a golf swing or
Yeah.
something. Yeah. All right, what are we looking at here? 10.
Say 2 5s.
Double
Many
fives here.
options.
Yeah, lots of choices.
You got that
Lots of
D6?
fives. Get rid
Yeah.
of that
Too.
D6.
Get rid of that D6.
Definitely.
Yeah, I can get rid of this guy. Oh, I was gonna say I could.
And the
drop
8?
The 4.
You can get rid of the D6 and D8.
Now let me.
Gives you better range.
Yeah, good idea. All right, I dropped these.
A
Take
potential
some
higher
professional.
range, yeah.
That's my call too. I find the D4 surprisingly useful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, if you're close, if you're
It's the
within,
incrementer.
Yeah.
We sometimes call it the weight.
He's making shit up.
No.
the
We had a
fresh
bunch of fish terms. Ooh.
Your face when you
Remember the
shoot
beast.
5 gum.
It's your touch, Dinar. The luck it's moving into me. I'm a vessel for it now. Oh,
6.
there's a 6 right there.
Chief fish.
Cheap fish.
So I have 8. I only need one more. How many does he have now?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
He's got 6?
Yeah.
All right, now he
Yeah,
starts
roll
trying to
that D20.
sabotage you. Now he starts like, now it's like when you're playing pool and someone knocks the cue.
Yeah.
Now that he's doing that.
Let me blow a charge on this. Let me take advantage on this fish. All right,
Yeah. Let me take advantage of a fish.
Good thing you did.
so when I cast around, take a cat.
Oh man, an 18 and a
incredible
19.
rolls.
Keeping it on.
And I don't think it may not be possible with these. Let's see.
I'm reeling hard.
No, you got it. A 10 and an 8.
10 and 8.
It's 10?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
I'm reeling hard.
So you're up to 7.
Yep.
3 fish.
So now you need to roll incredibly low.
Well, you need to roll a 1
Nothing.
or a 20.
Roll that 4.
Come on, all 4. Come back.
I can roll it.
No.
It's a 1 through 4, so you could roll
Yeah.
it.
Nah, I rolled
Yeah.
a 10 though,
Yeah.
so I blew this one. But
All
that's
right.
still a lot of fish.
That's quite a solid performance.
Yeah.
All right, man.
With
Well,
strange eons.
All right.
Man, I'm
Yeah.
gonna fish instead of just messing up my society.
I was trying to bring it on board.
With stray on.
I know you were.
Yeah.
With strange eons, even fish may die.
Even fish. Even the long-lived fish. No, they're incredibly.
All right.
All right. So I only need one.
But now you're starting to see some fish accumulate
Yeah.
in his side of
Well,
the
he
boat.
caught up a little bit. Yeah. With my help. And
They're really your fish. If
yeah.
you think about it.
And I say as much. I'm like, I helped, so you got 3, so at least one of those are mine.
I claim these fish.
Yeah.
That's valid.
But in wanting to finish strong, I will take advantage. And I go,
Purely an ego play.
oh yeah, absolutely.
That's Ryan now. That's
is-
what
yeah.
they are.
Oh,
5.
Nice.
Pretty
You're in your
shit.
face when you roll 5 gum. Or 17. We'll do 5.
That's weird. That was weird.
God, really good.
I'm rolling 5.
I love seeing a 5 though.
4 and
There
1.
you
Hey, you got a good chance to see the 5.
Yeah.
Guess I'll take this one
Yep.
because it's the
I think
redundant
D10,
and-
D4.
I'm gonna take the
Alright.
4. Yeah.
Real healthy.
Are you just gonna keep going now?
You're gonna keep
Flex on
going.
it?
Yeah.
Yeah,
this
it's BM.
It's BMing. Yeah, I'm BMing now. Now I'm clicking well played. Now
That means
going-
bad manners, not poop.
Yes, it means both.
Hey, could fool me. It would be bad manners
Yeah,
to poop
15.
here.
Let's see if I can get this overkill fish.
Listen, more
Push it into the red. Got it.
Oh.
15.
Fish.
Yeah.
The more fish we get, the more fat they will be for the maw.
For the sangless.
Yeah,
Yes.
The more delicious.
15.
Ooh.
I can't get it.
Ah.
I can't get it with these 2.
No. That's
see.
gonna be a rough ride. So, you are now...
Wait, no, we can't.
To say, who knows? Something.
Wait, it's
So
a
you are-
8 and a 6. now.
Exactly. So you are 1 over. So this, your tiny boat is heaped with fish.
Yeah. So if you
Heaving with
take, how
great
many do you have?
loads.
You have 7, right?
Yeah.
So even if I give you my extra one, you don't have 9.
Nah, it's okay. No worries.
So I would,
Yeah.
just to save you the embarrassment.
Of death.
Yeah. In fact, Dinar will give you his extra fish.
So am I 1 short even though
Yes,
that's the
exactly.
case? Okay.
Yeah.
So
Oh, no. Are you
Why
going
does-
to cast spells?
there's anything riding on this? Wait, where is it?
Is he being baited into
is.
like these
Bait is exactly...
grandiose ego plays?
Well, yeah.
like when Kithris would really fall for Dinar's dumb nonsense.
I want to impress these people. They're not going to listen to me if I
right.
can't even get a simple fish.
You're only 1 fish short. Hey, first I'm going to give you this fish, and I make a big grand scene of giving you this fish.
There's a mouth on both sides.
Yeah, and it's just like,
No, is that not 2 fish? No,
No, exactly. And they war with themselves over food.
Cat dog.
So I graciously accept this fish, and I go, what's this in the mouth? And cast prestidigitation to make a very small fish.
And I say, I've
technically
given you
have
2
another
fish.
fish.
I've given you 2 fish, my friend.
Oh, this is amazing. So we both reached our quota.
Yes, we'll tell them that. But you and I will know the truth. He gets gravely serious.
Fine with me, friend.
That's good. That's good.
It's like, it is good. Yes.
Yes.
Right.
Yes,
and
it
this is happening. So, and this
And we're just staring at each other going,
and
yeah.
this is happening.
Yeah.
Like even as the anchor begins to, motivate itself back toward its place in the base of the flagship, it says, "It is.
It's good.
It is.
It is good.
No, it is good.
Yeah, it's good.
I'm just standing on the deck
Yeah.
of the ship watching them be like face to face. Like from where I'm standing, it almost looks like they're smooching.
It's like the cover of a Hall & Oates album.
Yes.
Sweat. It is good.
Sunglasses.
Yeah.
It's like, what are they doing down there?
No. Yeah. Exactly.
Fishing.
Yeah. There's something happening. Something is happening. You can tell from there.
Well, it's sweating.
Just when they emerge after this experience back up onto the deck, and then so what is the level of tension between the two of you as you come back to the boat?
I don't think Cthulhu can carry you.
And it's like
I don't think he can. I like the idea that Darar's getting tense and he's just going,
It's like,
yeah, it is.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's only going one way.
So Taurus sort of slaps the back of your thigh a couple times, like in the middle of this
Yeah.
This
exchange.
baby can fit so many fish.
Yeah, exactly. And he's like, hey, you did a good.
I did great. I did
Thank
the
you.
best.
No, yeah, so
did.
many. Wow. Okay.
He did.
All right. Well,
I hope you learned something.
and then when the fish is when the
his head.
no
Just
Oh, you
ruffling his
high-five
head.
him.
No.
Ruffling his head.
no, and so they actually when they bring the fish back in, they can bring them directly through the portal that they put the nets in. So it's a very efficient process. He tries to congratulate you. It's a complex emotional journey.
So we're all standing there just sort of like patting and avoiding pats from one another.
Yeah, we're all just like congratulating each other.
One's just shaking her head. What are you doing?
Trying to gain their trust.
Fishing. Just fishing.
Sure. Okay.
Space fishing.
Sure you did, bud. Didn't I get them all those fish last time?
Yeah, I don't know. And I got them all them fish this time.
All right, well, we
got-
sure fed the fleet.
We got 9 fish.
9? Okay, well, that's good. That's really good for people that can't speak to animals.
Yeah.
And you're like, it is good. It is. It is.
It is good.
So you make your way back over. The gangplank creaks under the weight of your plate dinar. It's retracted back up on deck. Coriander under Rosie's certain capability begins to shift out, sort of like sailing through the fleet, and it gives you a chance to. And there's a lot of you can see this is families. This is the full age range. There is this shard of this civilization has committed itself, come hell or high water, to whatever this outcome is, spurred by this document.
Wow. Yeah.
And so there's people waving from their decks, and Rosie throwing the tiller, showing off a little, perhaps, through this strange constellation of ships. She takes her place at the beginning, eases it forward, and then you can see from behind that almost like a cone that emits from the aft section that enables the rest of these vessels much greater speed than they're ordinarily capable of. And the ship finds its way to the Knot, which is a place that Admiral B. Stinger suggested was sort of a meeting of many of these paths and roads that go through. They all sort of meet at a specific juncture. And he suggested that there are trade opportunities there, not just among halflings, but other strange species that make their home out in the phlogiston, which is a real word.
Sure.
Unfortunately.
You say so.
It is.
Sure.
No, it is. And as you arrive, as you see it, she pulls back on the rudder, and you can see through your palm and forearm that there are hundreds of these fluid ribbons that flow through space that join in this area. But
Areola, that's a word.
that's also, I mean, yeah.
That's what this place should be called, not the Knot.
Yeah,
The areola.
yeah, it should be called the areola. Great, I like it. There's a song I'm going to play for you later. But as the ship decelerates and the fleet arrives just a few seconds later, you can see that there may have been substantial trade opportunities in this area at one point, but that the trade goods, the platforms that might have offered them, and indeed even the people who might have offered them, are now freely floating in space, atomized throughout this section. And another flotilla, similar in size and scope, clearly halfling vessels, on the opposite side of this debris field, they begin to accelerate at great speed toward and through this sort of ring of debris, and immediately begin to launch into a full-out attack on the Bee Stinger fleet.
Whoa.
What?
That is our episode, Gathered Throng. Thank you so much for coming back.
Come on, dude.
Season 3, Arc 2, starting off with a bang. Our game for the Descent, I think is probably safest to do as a bottle episode.
Yeah.
Yes.
A one-shot type
Because it's
thing.
like only like 2 hours, right?
It's
like
an hour and a half.
truncated, yeah.
And so, I want to make sure that Kate is here to react when we come back to the full game. So
Sure.
it'll be
Doomgate in.
It'll be Doomgate in. It'll be a bottle episode. Valentine's Day. We'll make it happen 100%. But hey, don't go nowhere. We'll be back for Table Talk
With a special announcement.
with a special announcement from your girl. Don't go nowhere.
Special.